Okay, guys, the webinar has started recording. Welcome to our webinar. We will be discussing what makes a good versus a bad purchase. So the decisions that we make when we're sourcing online to determine whether or not we're going to moving forward with the buy. So in this webinar, we're going to go through just our thought processes. Like I mentioned, it's just all the tools that we use when we're looking to source. Most of it is free tools. So there's really no excuse to get started to sourcing. There's a couple paid tools that with paid tools, they just make things a little bit easier. They kind of streamline the process a little bit more, as you'll see in a second. But for the most part, you can certainly get by with free tools. So I don't want to hear no excuses. All right, guys. So just a quick
for the sorry, just jumping in. For the paid tools, it's normally it just makes life easier, but it's not anything you can't do with free tools. You know, it's like it saves you like 30 seconds or a minute here and there, and that adds up over like 1,000
yeah,
products and
yeah,
so on.
yeah. Definitely. It's like if you're doing retail arbitrage and having a scanner versus not having a scanner. Just the extra few seconds that you have to try to get your camera to focus or that time just adds up. So here we go. So this is a deal that I think I was looking at earlier. I made notes on it. So Amazon playing with repricing. Okay, so so the first thing that I pull up. So this whole section right here is a tool called RevSeller. It's called RevSeller. I think it's $100 a year. Not entirely necessary to have, but obviously very useful. Just because it pulls all the information. Oh, geez. I guess I'm annotating. Shoot. Sorry, guys. So it just pulls all the data, makes everything just in one place. So right here, if I was logged in, it would show me in green if I could sell it, and if it was in red, it would say new or approval required. So that's a very, very quick way to determine if we can sell a product. Because if you guys aren't doing that right now, you got to make sure if you're don't even bother looking at a product if you haven't, like, this should be the first step to take a look to see if you can even sell the product. Because if not, you're just going to move on. So I'm going to act like I don't have this tool. So this is the Keepa graph. This is what Keepa looks like. Keepa is a free extension. It essentially gives us almost all the information that we need in order to make a sound decision on the purchase or not. So Keepa.com, it's completely free. Download it. It's very useful. So I'm just going to go through what it looks like, what everything means here. So on the left side is the price, the listing price on Amazon. The bottom here is just the date range, which you'll see in a minute. We can change the date ranges. I'll show you right now. Here's what the last day looks like. It looks like we got a sale on this item at 6:15 p.m. It's pretty detailed. This is what the weekly view looks like. So we can see that, there's a couple sales that happened. The monthly view.
Dag, sorry. I think we should explain sales rank before we.
Yeah, I'm going to go through just kind of,
Okay.
so the 3-month view, the yearly view, and then the all view. So here's all the different points of data that you can select. So I'm just going to unselect everything so you guys can see. So that doesn't look very good, right? So Amazon. So the orange line represents when Amazon is in stock. So as you can see in the last 3 months here, they've always been in stock. The last year pretty much the entire lifetime of this product, they've been in stock. There's examples that we'll show you guys later where they're not in stock. Um, Here is new third-party sellers that are not Prime, but
It's may or may not be Prime.
yeah, may or may not be Prime. If you guys will notice, sometimes when you go to a listing, you'll see um, free shipping. So here's somebody who offers free shipping, except they're not Prime. This second guy here, 3916. So he would be a blue mark on the Keepa graph here. So I'm just going to go back to the original listing.
Just to add on to that, the blue line is always the price. So if it's an MF seller and they have a shipping cost, it doesn't consider the shipping cost.
Right.
So if you look at the line right now, it's at $29.49, but it doesn't consider the $8 shipping cost that MF seller has.
Yeah. The red triangles represents the third-party sellers that are Prime. So this is people like you and me. And importantly, the black line is for used. I don't ever sell anything used, and it's not really a concern to me. Most people are not looking for used items, at least the items I don't sell. That's not my business model. I don't buy used. I know some people do, but that's not for me. So I never have it checked. And the other very important point of data here is the green dot, or the green line, which is a sales rank. Dixon, you want to maybe explain this?
Sure. Sorry, just jumping back onto used. I actually do look at used, and the reason why is sometimes a used seller would jump on a listing, and it would correlate with sales rank spikes because the used listing is selling, even though the news aren't selling.
Okay, that's a good point.
So I just have it checked, but I don't really look at it. So sales rank. Sales rank is the green line that you see all the spikes, and basically how it works is it's a giant leaderboard of all the items in a certain category. So if you ever played any video games, there's a leaderboard for like top player, number 1, 2, 3, and their respective scores, and it's generally the concept is that it's a very similar idea, except with products within a category. So I don't know what category this is in, but let's just say for toys, the number 1 rank item in toys is the best selling item of that period, that certain point in time, and the number 2 is the second best selling item at that point in time. And there's a really complicated algorithm, which is Amazon's secret of how they keep track of all this. And yeah, so that's what sales rank is. So basically what happens over time is as the product doesn't sell, the sales rank will begin to creep up. And it goes from the number 1 selling item to the number 2 to the number 3 to all the way down to maybe like the 50,000 or like the million, whatever it is. And every time it sells, you can expect it to drastically drop in sales rank because it's a hot selling item. It just sold, so it climbs back up to that leaderboard, and that's why you see the spikes that you do in the Keepa graph.
Yeah.
So another little thing, how Keepa works is that it looks at the Amazon page and tracks the price in the sales rank, which can be found at the bottom of every Amazon page. If you actually look, there's a rank for every product, and Dane can show that. And Keepa just refreshes this page through software, more or less, and they do this over time, like let's say every 30 minutes or every 2 hours or whatever it is, and they they track it on a graph. So every time you see it spike, so on the screen you saw the sales rank at the bottom of the page, and if you go back to the graph,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, am I going too fast?
No, no.
So on the graph, every time you see that dramatic spike downwards, like the vertical line downwards, that means that the rank has dropped from something higher to something lower.
Yeah,
And
if you guys follow like my mouse here, so like right here on just before August, late July, you see that the sales rank is 443,000, and then when you see a sale occur, it drops to 138,000. So the drops can be very, very dramatic as well. And as you see, like, it doesn't sell, goes back up to almost 406,000, and then there's a sale that's made back to 150,000. And the longer that there is a period, like for instance here, so the sale here happened around a little after September 16th. So you see it at 135,000. And as you can see here, the price, they increased it here from 29 to 32. I guess they're trying to squeeze a little bit more profit. And then there's really no sales that are happening at all. As you can see, it climbs from 347, and all the way up to 600,000 plus here. And this is over, a 1 week period. So spikes can, like, that's why they're called spikes, just because it's such a dramatic shift depending on how many sales are happening in a given period. And just to kind of give you guys a little bit more context, so bestsellers rank is basically, it takes all of the information, all of the products in one category, and there could be, there's like 350 million products just alone or 50 million products alone in some categories. So obviously, the lower the number, the better, the more popular the item is. And I'm actually gonna show you guys here. There's the sales rank chart. So there's both .com and .ca. I'm just going to open the .com sales rank chart, and you guys will notice here that let's say electronics. There's 390,000 products in the top 1%. So 39 million products alone just in the electronics category. Home and kitchen, 83 million, right? Toys, 5 million, tools, home improvement, 14 million. So ideally, when we're looking to source products, we want to source products that are obviously in the top 1%. So it depends what your risk factor here as well. Sometimes I will go into the top 3% because I have, I think, a higher risk tolerance than most, and I don't mind sitting on a product a little bit longer if it's going to net me a higher return. But definitely for the Q4 season, I recommend people staying in the top 1% so that your inventory turns quicker, and you can recoup your money back quicker, so you can put it into more inventory.
and as a caveat to that, don't just look at the current sales rank and look at that chart and say, oh, it's in the top 1%, it's gonna sell.
Yeah,
Because as you can tell from our chart, that item we were just looking at, it went from about 200K to 600K. Is that right?
yeah,
150K to
yeah,
600K.
right.
And if you look on the day where it's 150K, it's a great product. And if you look at the day it's 600K, you're like, oh, it's top 3% or 5% or whatever it is, and it's crappy, and you don't buy it. So it's more important to look at the chart than to really look at what percentage it is in.
Yeah, just so it's kind of like using it as just a quick point of reference. But that's not to say that that's the only thing you should focus on. So
Okay, I want to answer two questions that we got. So the first one, Ellie asked, does every time a green line drop, it means one sale, or could it be multiple? And the answer is it could be multiple, because of how Keepa works. Remember that it checks the Amazon page every during intervals. So within the half an hour or the 2 hours that before the first check and the second check, it could have sold 10 units, and those 10 units would all be considered one drop, one spike,
yeah,
right? So it could be multiple, but chances are, if it's multiple, it's going to be a really big spike because the sales rate is going to drop a lot more than it would for one sale. So when you look at this chart, most of the spikes are pretty, the length of the spikes, like how much they drop, is about more or less about the same. So you can safely assume that most of these are one sale per spike. Okay, next question. Nikki asks, there's a lot of small changes through the September 16th through 23. Oh, another thing in Keepa, if you put your mouse over something and drag it, you can zoom in to that part specifically, like things now. So I think he's asking about the little up and downs at
Here,
the
I think
top.
is yeah.
Yeah. So basically, those are not sales, and the reason why is because you can see that the sales are going down significantly every time the sales, a big spike down,
Mhm.
and those drops are really really tiny, and they're a lot more round and curved, which means that they're dropping a little bit, little by little over time, and the reason why this happens is as things get in and out of the catalog, and you know, stuff goes out of the catalog, and Amazon's algorithm is weird, so stuff kind of, yeah, it just kind of goes out of whack,
Yeah.
and
Because
sometimes you'll
essentially
see that.
essentially with like BSR, it's just ranking what the most popular products are. So like if you go we're gonna go back to the chart for a second and look like in electronics there's 39 million products. So obviously, there at some point some of it's gonna run out of stock. Um, just many different factors can happen in order to make the to explain like this what's going on here. But essentially here, there's no sales that are happening. It's always a downward spike, and this would look different than I know some of you might use camel as well, and with camel, it's actually inverted. So it's spikes happen like the other way. So I don't use camel.
I
There
don't
there
either.
there are instances that you may want to look at camel, and that would be like if Keepa hasn't tracked an item before. I think someone might have even posted that in the group the other day.
It was probably me.
How do you know? Oh, sorry. What would a graph look like for a product that has multiple sales a day?
It would.
It would look like a flat line. So if you see we'll show you an example. I think we have an example of it. But if you see a green line and it's just all the way, like just a straight
Yeah.
line all the way to the bottom. So like, let me find one right now. Uh,
If you go to like the top 200 or 500 ranks, that's probably what it looks like,
yeah, I'll show you guys here.
if anything.
Bestseller. So this is what do you meme? Gosh. So this is the number one bestseller. So this is what their keeper graph will look like. And a keeper always takes a quick second to load. So okay, that's not exactly what I was trying to didn't prove my point. Cards of Humanity is pretty damn popular. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll more or less bounce between like rank number 1, rank number 100, and you can anything under like 1,000 rank, you can in a main category, not a subcategory, you can pretty much safely assume that it's selling multiple a day.
Yeah, yeah. If you see it like just a green line all the way at the bottom, then it's like even the reason why this even fluctuates is it only fluctuates between number 1 and number 8, which is like pretty remarkable. Like if this number was like 100, then it would be a flat line, or maybe not 100, maybe like 1,000. But because it's such a
Yeah.
popular item, it never even goes past number like it's basically saying here that in all of is it toys and games? Yeah, in all of toys and games, this never goes past number 8. Like like only 7 other products are more popular in any given time for this game. That's just how
over the
popular
three
this.
months.
Yeah, yeah, in 3 months, right? And that's just how popular this game is. So as you see, like it does spike up here. This is when the game, for whatever reason, does not become popular. Is but if you see here, like between, like it's pretty much like a straight line here, and that kind of
Yeah.
just denotes that it's a ton of sales. But look here on the right side. The right side is it shows you what the BSR, what the bestsellers rank is.
Ellie, I think number one category, ranked number one in the toy category is you're probably looking at thousands of sales per day.
Yeah,
There's Jungle Scout that I actually recommend people looking at for stuff like this.
yeah.
Like I know
So
I
here's
read the
here's what it is here. So this is junglescout.com/estimator. If you guys want to, there's also the Chrome extension here that I use. Well, obviously I'm not on Amazon page, so it's not going to work. But so if you click on toys and games, and number one rank will sell that many times per month. So if it goes to number 8, they're still making, a significant amount of sales, which is, this is a home run product. If you guys can ever get something like this, just remember Dixon and I, okay? No,
um
it's not bad at all. That $25, it probably costs them, $3 or $4 to make this game. And I
yeah.
have this game. This is very interesting.
But one little thing about Jungle Scout is, it gives you a estimated sales based on the rank, and as you saw in the first product, it rank varies so much on
Mhm.
any normal product. Like it goes from 100K to 600K.
Yeah,
So on the 600K day, you plug in your Jungle Scout, you see that it sells like 2 a month. You say this is garbage, and if you go in on the 100K day and you plug in 100K, you see that it sells like 20 a month, and you're like, oh, this is great,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
So
exactly. So I think I've heard so many times where people will post in Facebook groups, oh, you know what, Jungle Scout said this was such an awesome item, and then I got it, and it doesn't even sell. It's such a, it's horrible data, but it's just because they're not looking at the data correctly. So one way to kind of combat this is to look at obviously the Keepa chart, but looking at like the 90-day view or looking at the yearly view, depending on like what you're looking at.
yeah.
Don't because I mean, like if I look at obviously the last day here, I'm like, oh, quick, awesome, it made a sale, but it could very well be the only sale it's made in the past 3 months or so.
Yeah, especially for Amazon.ca ranks. I've seen stuff drop like I've seen it like toys in Amazon.ca catalog drop from like 200K to like 5K with one sale.
Hmm.
And if you catch it on the 5K day and you plug in 5K into Jungle Scout, you'll see that it sells a lot, even though it sells like once a year or something.
Right, right. So always, look at. I guess what we're saying is look at the bigger picture, um, and certainly another way to do that, and probably even more importantly, because we're in the Q4 season, is looking at the yearly. Because this will help us determine. So there are some items that like. So I went on and I sourced this past weekend, and there were like speculative buys that I made, which are like they're right now I bought them and they were break even points. It was a break even buy, and but like I have experience with Q4, and I know that this particular item will spike in terms of the listing price. People will be willing to pay a lot more. This is not a very good example of it, but I'll show you. You like oftentimes you'll see kind of like right November, close to December here, like the price will just increase pretty dramatically
Yeah.
because people love purchasing. People love spending more money than they need to during Q4, apparently. Um,
And also keep an eye out for when the orange disappears. That's when Amazon goes out of stock.
yeah,
And in Q4, that happens a lot.
yeah,
And if Amazon's out of stock, which
and not like
uh,
that. Yeah. Make sure it's still toggled. Dixon doesn't mean to like, oh hey, Amazon's out of stock. Oh hey, they're back in stock. Not like that. Okay, guys. We'll show you an example of where they do go out of stock. Basically, the orange line will disappear for a period and it would just be white. And typically when that happens, your third-party sellers will increase the price.
Yep.
Unicorn Smasher, I'd never use it just because I never liked the name. Uh,
I don't even know what it does.
it's just like another Jungle Scull alternative. But
Okay.
that's the thing, guys. Like there's so many tools out there that will give you the data. Don't take any tool word for word. Don't look at oh, it says this the way it is. It must mean what at face value. Don't never take it at face value. Always do your due diligence and look at all the different factors when you're looking at a potential. I actually don't have a list.
Ellie, we both do compete against Amazon, but we will go into an example later of when and what to look for when competing against Amazon.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just go through the rest of this here. So new third-party FBM, these are your merchant fulfilled.
Those are the blue little squares that you
Yeah,
see.
blue. I can just I'll take Amazon off and the new off just so you guys can have a clear view. Or actually, I'll put Amazon there for perspective. So obviously they price it a little bit lower because they have to take shipping into account.
Um,
I like competing. I always compete with fulfilled by merchant just because there's a large percentage of people who will only buy things prime. They'd rather it ship very quickly than have to wait and have to pay shipping. What else?
So the squares that does include shipping. That's the lowest FBM offer, including shipping.
Mhm.
And another thing is you can click on any one of those squares and it'll tell you who owns the FBM buy box and what their stock was at that current point in time. And there's more stuff there that will go more in depth later.
Yeah. Okay, so let's maybe look at our. Is there anything else here that you want to?
The triangles is a third-party FBA.
Yeah.
Same thing. This is very useful with This is very useful for filtering out the FBM people because normally this is higher than the blue line for new products, and you can have a good idea of what FBA sellers is selling it for. Because you're FBA, you don't want to compete at the blue line of merchant fulfilled without
Yeah.
shipping.
Yeah. Buy
Okay.
box is buy box.
Yeah,
I
I think
pretty
that's
straightforward.
pretty simple. The bottom. Do you want to go over that?
Yeah, sure. You know what? I'd rather go through this when for
Okay.
other. All right, so like this is essentially just how many offers there are on a listing.
How many different sellers are selling it?
Yeah,
This is FBM, like merchant fulfilled plus FBA.
yeah. This is the total number of sellers on the listing, and this is useful to have. And this you might not be able to see it right away, so it's just more historical data. It just gives you just a little bit more information, and we'll go a little bit deeper on this maybe in one of the next examples that we have.
Okay.
Okay, so the next example I have here is an item in the automotive category. Why did I say so? Amazon. What did I do for this one? So, I just wanted to show that this was a kind of a high margin item. If you source, I think it was actually .ca. If I look at .ca, oh, I'm gonna log out. Come on. Uh, okay. This was actually earlier in the day. This was actually at like $40 or something, I think, right now. So actually, yeah, actually last week. So this is on .ca here, and this would be an example of a good Amazon flip. So Amazon.ca to Amazon.com flip when Amazon drops their price. Um, okay.
Amazon's repricer is quite funky, and no one really knows what it does.
Yeah. So yeah, and you'll often people have asked me why is there such a discrepancy in prices. Like you can see here, July 17th, 18th is $45. And then for whatever reason, because obviously they're not making any sales, let's increase the price to $226. It goes back down for like a month, it goes back up again, it goes back down and back up. There's many reasons for that. Amazon just could have, a very crappy repricer. At the end of the day, they have humans working in certain departments in there. And it could be, hey, okay, you guys, this department deals with this category and you guys work the repricing. And it could just be human error, could be them testing, so many different reasons why there's different prices. But
I, I
suppose,
I think it's more they're trying shit out because they're Amazon and they
yeah,
can. They have
yeah,
all that data,
right,
so it's hard to explain and expect what Amazon does. To be honest,
yeah. But here is a very good example. If you caught this item, a week ago when it was at $49 and you wanna, it's let's see what .com looks like. So $49 is $111. That's a pretty healthy margin. So RevSeller, like if I were to change that's probably 45-ish US. So this is RevSeller. I'm just gonna a quick tangent here because I'm already here, but gives me the net, the ROI, the margin, and all the data here that you would have to scroll to the very bottom in order to find yourself. So it just saves some time. Like if you're looking at hundreds and thousands of deals, it's just going to save you time instead of having to go down here. Okay, it's in the automotive category, 395,000 and weighs 1.6 pounds. With RevSeller, all the data is right here. So right away, I always look at the rank and I can see what rank it is. And um, yeah, so this may or may not be a good buy depending on just like what your risk tolerance is. As you can see, Amazon does not lose stock. See, they're in stock for the whole year. Um, go back through month view for a second. So, but what I did want to point at it because it's such a high margin item. Like this is something that I would consider running a sponsored ad on, in order to try to get more exposure. But make sure you got the buy box when you do that, because you don't want to
it,
send
it's not
more
gonna it's not gonna let you run sponsored ads.
unless you have the buy box.
Yes,
Yeah.
or you can like put it in, but it's not gonna do anything until you have the buy box.
Mhm, mhm. So this is I just wanted to show you guys an example. So a .ca to .com flip. So .ca, like just if you guys see the spikes and so like let's say this was a popular item, bad example because it's not a popular item, but let's say it was, then let's say you were here and you just missed the cutoff date, you're like crap, it's 49.17 here, and then now it's 226. Obviously, you're not going to purchase at 226 or even 165. You're not going to make any money. So right here, track product. So if you track product and I say, okay, tell me when this goes lower than $60. Start tracking. So you can specify how you want to be notified as well. You can see all the different things. So I actually have Facebook Messenger and email set. So every single time that this will go below $60. So let's say I'm selling this item and my repricer is kicked in, and or there's different scenarios why somebody would lower a price like that, even if they're not an Amazon seller. Uh, they want to avoid storage fees. They want to avoid like the long-term storage fees. Um, and they want to liquidate an item. They're not interested in the product anymore. There's many reasons why somebody would want to liquidate their product. So you set your tracking for it, and I like Dixon and I have hundreds of how many you have? Like 400 or 500 alerts.
Like 500. Yeah. If you're logged in, you wouldn't have to fill out your email or messenger or whatever
Yeah,
every time.
yeah,
It would just get added to your account.
yeah.
Just by the way.
I'm not logged in right now, so you just need to enter it once,
Yeah.
and then you can actually go to the Keepa, and it'll have like a dashboard as well of all of
Yeah.
your alerts.
There are a couple ways to use the tracking. One is when you see Amazon repricer go crazy like that, or historically goes up and down like that. Um, Another thing is if Amazon can't keep something in stock. So there's like little bits of orange here and there. So you send an alert for Amazon prices, and when they come back in stock, it'll alert you. You can just buy it for a flip.
Oh, here's an
And
example. Sorry, Dixon. Here's an example of Amazon going out of stock on an item. So this sells for 75. Cool. So you can see here with Amazon, this period here between, the first, August 31st to the 6th, they go out of stock. And even before here, anything. So if we look at a longer period, where there is basically just a white space. So if it's an orange line all the way across, Amazon's always in stock. You can see here between December 21st and February 6th, they run out of stock. June 30th to July 25th, they're out of stock. And then again, a small period here that they're out of stock. So if you know it's an item that they run out of stock every once in a while, then this is certainly a time where I will compete with Amazon.
I just sent you an ASIN. Can you pull that up on .com?
Where did you
And
send it to me?
Facebook.
Okay.
This is add alerts for, and this was a very good flip that I would have bought if Amazon didn't get a truckload.
That's not it.
Basically. I'm just waiting for Ding to pull this up. So I found this product on August 26th. So put your mouse somewhere around there. And
Sorry, August 26th?
yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be that exact date, just somewhere around that area. And you can see that it was selling for 17-ish dollars, and before that 24-ish dollars, and it dropped down to about $24 right there, and then it drops to about 17-ish. But I look at the last FBA offer, which was about 24, the red triangle at 24. If you go back a little bit,
Which date?
August 13th. You see that one red triangle around the $24 range?
Oh, this one here you're talking about?
That one right there, yes. So if I were to stock this product, I could reasonably believe that I could sell it for about $24. Somewhat. 24, maybe $20. And because you see if you zoom in on about the August 16th to beginning of September area, you can see that Amazon actually went in stock.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. If you look carefully at around August 25th, Amazon went in stock for about $5.95.
Sure, you guys see it.
You guys see that? So
Again, they went into stock for like a day here.
Yeah,
a day or two.
Maybe even a couple hours. So when I found it on August 26th ish, I set a Keepa alert. So I told Keepa, hey, alert me if this ever drops below $12. and I picked $12 because on August 22nd and August 19th, it went in stock for like 10 something. So I wanted to be alert whether Amazon goes in stock for 10 something or 5.95. So I set that alert, and on September 16th, Amazon went in stock, and I got an alert. Dang, are you gonna show that? Or
Oh,
am I lagging?
sorry. Sorry. No. Which date?
September 16th.
September.
Right there. So Amazon went in stock right there, and I missed this, but if I noticed it, I would have bought it right then and there, and I would have bought pretty much whatever they had,
Yeah.
and
So
try.
Dixon's referring to like an Amazon.com to Amazon.com flip here.
Yeah, because as you can tell from the history, it sells for about $20, and if you look at the past 2 weeks, it's been selling for about 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like the past 2 weeks before September 16th.
Yeah. So if you guys look at the blue line, let's take this off, and even the red triangles,
Yeah,
you can see like Amazon's out of stock during these periods, but even at $16 here, there's still spikes. There's still sales, right? Even some guy like third party FBA sellers 17.95, and people still buy it. Like it's a very short period here that Amazon does get stock. So obviously, when they do get stock, it sells out within hours.
exactly. So this is the kind of stuff you want to set alerts on. Um, in like October 7th, October 8th, they came back into stock, and I got that alert, but then I didn't buy this, and the reason why was because I checked. I use How Many. It's an extension that checks how much stock people have, and Dang has something similar called
Yeah.
StockStats,
So
and basically it told me that Amazon had over 1,000 in stock, which means they're not going to run out anytime soon.
yeah. So if you guys use StockStats
No.
is a free alternative to How Many extension. And I'll show you guys actually it right now while we're here. So
Yep.
so when you're on this listing here, new, and then this shows how many sellers there are in brackets. So if you go here, this is StockStats right here, Chrome extension. It's free, but it's by Anthony. He collects your email address. But if you click the button here now, you'll see that Amazon has 1,000 in stock.
That's the maximum that it'll
Mm-hmm.
show.
Yeah.
So every time you see 999, it's 999 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ellie, it is the 999 trick, but we have software that does it.
Yeah. Because I mean, just years ago when I started doing this, that was the trick, and there's no
Yeah.
software to do it. So imagine having to go through every single seller and item, finding out how much stock they had. That was kind of a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, and that's how you do an Amazon flip.
Yeah, yeah. And this happens very, very often with Amazon. I do Amazon.com flips all the time. And there's many instances where they'll drop the price, and as soon as they go out of stock, prices always increase. Prices, especially during the Q4 season, like it's a wonderful time of year. Here's an example of the green line flatlining here, because we're looking at 80,000. You see that green. This is incredibly popular, incredibly popular, and it never really they don't go out of stock too much here. So.
Okay. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. Just going back to the deal that we were looking at previously. What was I doing with this one again? Let me see. So this one's at $75. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you guys. So this was it this item? No, it wasn't this item. But oh yeah, it was this item. So if you guys take a look at this line here. So Amazon has it at $75, and you can see that it does make a couple sales here with the lines, this graphs spiking. But you'll notice that even with a new third-party seller, they've priced it at $69, which is $5 less than Amazon, $6 less. But you'll notice that even when the sales happen, there's still 5 offers or 6 offers, no matter what. So this just goes to show that Amazon won't doesn't necessarily share the buy box on this listing.
There's actually a better way to see that. If you want to go into data offers, that's the new stuff. Have you seen that?
No, I actually don't use that.
Oh man, I use this every day.
Oh, here we go.
No, okay, go back to the top. On the second row, click offers. Right under data. There you go. So this is charts of the price history and the stock history of everyone that's currently in stock today. So if you look at what was it, the 7501? Which slide are we looking at earlier?
The one that was $69. So.
No, well, he's off the listing now. Oh no, he's right there. He's at the bottom. 7906. So it was $69, $69.11 plus $9.95 shipping. So that's why the blue line was showing $69.11.
Yeah.
And basically, you can see that this seller was in stock for the first graph. Has a flat blue line at $79. So for the graph range, which is the last 3 months, the seller's price has stayed consistent around the $79 mark and haven't changed. And if you look at the next graph over, where it's a stock history, you can see that his stock was at 2, and it was flat until just now, or very recently, he sold 1, and it dropped to 1. And if you look in between two charts, that data is given to you in a number form instead of a chart form.
Cool.
And if you look at the bottom where it says totals, you can see that there's a total of 22-ish, 24. 22 in stock currently. It sold roughly 24, and it sold roughly 24 over all the lifetime that Keepa has been tracking this, and it sold roughly 3 in the last 30 days. And it's roughly because it just counts the spikes, and it doesn't know how many stock thingies.
Cool.
Yeah, I use that every day, all the time, because then you can tell. Sometimes it's not Amazon versus it's FBA versus FBM, and you can tell whether the FBA sold or the FBM sold. FBM is merchant fulfilled, so you can tell which one sold by looking at the inventory levels and see which one dropped. And yeah, so you can tell if FBA was selling.
More information.
Yeah, and you can correlate that to the different spikes, the sales rank spikes in the chart. So if it spiked on any specific date, you can go look at the offers charts and track it back to that specific date, and you can see which one it was.
I think I might have been showing this because hey, here's a potential flip, right? $45 on .ca. As you can see, sometime Amazon's selling this for 140, and then they're like, okay, we're not making sales. Let's drop it to 65. They go. At some point, it was really low, 37, and they've kind of stayed stagnant around 45-ish. Okay. There's a private. Anyway, so look, there's one left in stock. So if anybody's keen enough, you can make a little bit of money here. What else we got? Okay, here's the next one. Here is an example of this one. I had someone show me this one. So So what happens here is if you guys take a look at this graph here, so Amazon is actually not even on this listing. And if you guys see it, it sells, it's an item that does sell every once in a while. And then the price drops here from $63 to $45. And uh, it's correlated with the amount of offers that are increasing. So you guys can see that, we have at, not even that long ago, September 24th, there was 3 offers, and now we're sitting 10 offers. And this correlates with the time that this price dropped. So when we talk about like an item that has tanked in price, because this is certainly an item that could have been profitable here September 24th, and then a bunch of people stumble upon it, and then whoever decides that they want to not make good margin on it for whatever reason, instead of pricing it at $63 and it's selling, they tank it and they price it at 45. People do that. There's many reasons why people do that. I know a very high volume seller that says, all I want is a 30% ROI no matter what. Even if I can get 90% ROI, I want 30%. This is my business. All I want all the time is 30% ROI so he can flip it quickly, he can get rid of his inventory, and he is a price tanker. So just be wary of that. I mean, there's not really anything you can do about, like, if you have an item and then the market changes, and being a Canadian selling on .com, unfortunately, like, we have a much longer period that we have to wait for our items to go live with the shipping. So if you have an item that is a good purchase and then it gets to Amazon, finally goes live, and then you find out it's a break even or something that it's an item that you're losing money on, you can't really. I mean, something that you can do is just look at. So if it's a popular item, um, you can look at how much supply is currently available, and if it's an item that sells 100 times a month, but then we look into stock stats to see that there's only 80 total in stock, then that's certainly a scenario where I will wait and I will hold on to the item so that I can sell at a profitable position.
Yep, and it's a business decision that you have to make whether to drop it to that price in hopes of getting that quick sale and getting your money back. Because once you get that money back, you can throw it into another product that might turn quickly, right? But if you wait, then your money might be held up for a month or 2 months or sometimes even longer.
Yeah, yeah. Because the market can change on you, and if it sells 100 times a month, and then all of a sudden people, there's just not enough demand for it, um, then it's an item that you might have to hold on longer. Like I don't mind hanging on to a product a little bit longer, but I would recommend people, if you guys are just starting out and you guys are looking at deals, then certain situations like that, to just try to get your money back, even if it's a break even. That's fine. It's a learning experience as well. Actually, so how would you know how many times a month a product sells? We look at our crystal ball. So no, so it's the green. So on the Keepa graph, every time there's a green spike, that's a sale.
Yeah.
The Jungle Scout estimator, you look at things like that to help
We
determine.
can literally go in and count those green spikes on that keep graph because there aren't many.
Yeah. So Dixon, this is one of yours.
Oh, this is another Amazon flip potentially gone crazy. This is just showing you. I just wanted to show that Amazon repricer um, going crazy, pretty much just going down, down, and down, even though it is selling. This was another thing I had tracked in Keepa because I was considering flipping it, but I think my alert was at like $50, and when I got it, when it hit $50, it just kept going down, and I didn't want to pull the trigger because I didn't know if it was going to keep going down or at any point would it come back up. and so on. So sometimes when you see it like that, it might not be smart to buy because it's kind of like playing with stocks at that point, you know?
Yeah, and Amazon, you guys see it like Amazon has there's a day or two that they ran out of stock, but they've been kind of consistently been in stock.
Yeah.
Um, and you guys can see here like Amazon gives themselves the buy box the whole time, even at a price point that's higher than third party seller. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
even like
that's
$20, almost $20, is it 20, 14, $15 more, and they're still giving themselves the buy box. So
yep. That is one way to check if Amazon shares the buy box
mhm,
to the question that, whether or not we compete with Amazon.
yeah.
And the other way is to go into data offers like before and see if any of the FBA off like inventory counts went down.
Yeah. This one here, you made a note that it was a good Amazon flip that
Oh,
you would have.
already
Oh,
went.
oh, we went through this one. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that you sent me earlier. Okay. I want to go through some of the ones that our member sent us, but I don't remember where I pasted them. Sorry, guys. Give me.
Oh, sorry. Could we? Can you look up Speak Out for .com
Yeah.
and look at last Q4? This is a very interesting Keepa graph. This was a really hot toy last Q4, and it was quite interesting what happened.
Okay. As you go through this, I'm gonna go back through the chat and find out what some of the ASINs that our members left to see.
I can actually send them to you.
Oh.
Give me a sec.
Oh, I have
Sorry,
them.
guys.
I
Just
have.
give us a minute.
It's cool. No, you go ahead. I have them here. I have them here.
Okay, cool. Oh, can you go back to last Q4? Not right now. Start in September, and just
Which ones do you want checked? Which ones do you want unchecked?
new. That's good.
You
Can you
want
show September to January?
of last year?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so why does this look so weird? 1 second, guys. Oh, I see. Okay, anyways, so what happened last year was in about August, September period, you can see that the third party FBA, the triangles, were at about $50, 50, 40-ish dollars. And the sales rank was super duper low. I think it was sitting at about like 2K, 3K, something like that. And this was to become the hot toy of last year. And you could see that around August 20th area, Amazon came in stock at $21.99. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly August 20th.
Sorry.
And they went out of stock very, very quickly, like within a day or a couple hours.
Yeah.
And instantly, the FBA price was at $56.
Yeah.
So this was a very, very profitable item for flips or otherwise. This was found in a lot of stores, and you could see over August and September, Amazon couldn't really keep it in stock, and the big spike came in around September 16th when Amazon went out of stock over um, that period. So Amazon had stock about August 1st to September 1st, September 16th, and the moment they went out of stock, the FBA offers jumped up to $100. And because of this, I think a lot of people found it in their TA, and it was a widely shared bolo. So what happened was people started buying this up. Dan, could you zoom in from about September 1st to August 1st?
To August 1st, September 1st?
Sorry, September 1st to October 1st. Sorry, man. Oh man. So as you can see in around September 14th, 15th time, if you look at the bottom chart, the number of new offers went down significantly. I I don't really know what happened there, but because the offers went down, there is a negative correlation to the buy box price normally, because when there's less offers, there's less supply and prices go up. It's basic econ. Um, and as people saw that price sit at $100 over the couple of days, $100, $70, more and more people started buying it because you can get this in stores for about $15 in the at like Walmart, Target, and so on. And as people bought it, the amount of new offers went up significantly over the next 2 weeks, and the FBA price came down significantly.
Yeah.
So you can see the negative correlation there is
Yeah.
very strong.
Supply and demand, guys, right here.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example.
And because people repricers also compete with each other and people want to get out, get their money back, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah. So there's like this, can this is an example of just like when people hear about the news and you have 6 offers on September 15th, and then not even like 2 or 3 days later, 45. And this is like, everybody can, maybe it's something in the news that you hear about. Oh, guys, like a hot top holiday product of the season, media, and then you see that
Yeah,
the
and this was
offers
also
just,
shared in a lot of Amazon groups.
yeah, and
Like,
then the offers just explode, and then at some point we get some diminishing returns happening with too many sellers on board, and
and
then
it went up
at
to
its
300.
313 offers, and then this is where people start tanking their prices. Like if
Yeah.
everybody just cooperated and left it at $69, then people are going to buy it at $69. But because there's so much more supply is matching demand, or even exceeding it, then people are like, okay, I'm not selling at 64. I need to drop it 59, and then it comes down to 33. How sad, isn't it? How sad.
It went up to 850 offers at one point in mid-November.
Yeah, let me go back.
But yeah, so this is why you don't share bolos in giant like 40,000 people groups, because shit like this happens.
Yeah, 823 offers,
Yeah,
which is and then you can see that the price stables at $19.
yeah.
$19.
Even when Amazon was out of stock, it was about 25, and people were losing money on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go through an example. Somebody wanted us to check uh, this item here. I actually have a little bit more backstory about Spico, which is very interesting, but I'm not going to get into that because another time, another place. Shoot, give me a
You're in
second.
toys and games category.
I'm gonna go check up on another listing, but you wanna kind of go through this one when the Keepa comes up.
Sure.
What was I gonna do now?
Could you scroll down so I can see the keeper chart?
Sorry. No, no, show us. Tell us about Keepa.
Okay, so is this an
Whoever posted this, I can't remember. Sorry, guys. Uh, is there something specific that you guys want to know about it, or is it just?
yeah, could you when you send ASINs, could you give us a little
Oh,
blurb on
this is
what you want
.ca.
us?
This is .ca.
Yeah. Can you tell us what you want us to talk about, and if you want us to analyze if it's a good find or not, can you give us the price you can get it at? Oh. I see graphs like this all day. So basically what happened is this probably showed up in TA, I'm guessing. And what happened was Amazon was in stock for a really long time, and it went out of stock recently, probably the last week or two, and the price jumped up to $25 more or less. And yeah, so this probably showed up in TA that the price was $25 and you were buying it for X, and there's a good profit there. And I don't touch stuff like this at all. And the reason why is because the rake may be good because it's still climbing its way back up, but all the spikes are uh, all the spikes and all the sales are when Amazon was in stock. So this product has been selling when Amazon was in stock for the $10, for the $7 or whatnot, and which means that people were okay with buying this at $10. Um, so would they be okay with buying this at $25? The answer is I don't know. And when the answer is I don't know, I don't like it, and that's not a risk that I want to take because this could potentially just sit there forever at $25. Some people's business model would touch this and they would buy this, and if you can send it in quickly, um, and set it at $25, maybe someone will buy it and someone will buy it. I don't know, but that it's I think it's a big risk that you're betting that someone was willing to pay $25 for this.
Mhm. I mean, and at the end of the day, like it comes down to like what your business model is and what your risk tolerance is, right? So like we're providing you kind of with a look at how we do things and just the data that's available to us. So if you can understand the data, then you'll be able to make informed decisions. And if it's something that you're willing to bank on and make take a risk on, then certainly that's entirely up to you and how you want to approach that. The next item we're going to look at, please let me know if it is .com or .ca. Uh, Sorry, guys, I don't remember who sent this. If I scroll up, it looks like okay, it was Ellie.ca. Okay, .ca. Purchase is $25. Yes, it is. What was .com price? Okay, maybe you don't want to sell on .com. Maybe you want to do a .ca to .ca flip. So do you want to sell this on .ca or you want to sell this on .com? You want to sell this on .ca. um, okay. This one is all the data. So for me, I interpret this more as like I would look at this more of like a spec buy, especially like during the Q4 season. Maybe people will buy it. Lego
Was
Juniors.
I on mute this entire time?
Yeah, you were.
Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I was talking and I was wondering why you weren't reacting.
So let's go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, this looks like a classic Keepa fucked up and Amazon was in stock the whole time.
Yeah,
And the reason why is because you can look at the purple diamonds and you can see that the buy box was at $25 the
yeah,
entire time. So if you go look at 3 months thing, um, you can see the purple things are there,
right.
and the buy box was sitting at $25 this entire time.
Yeah,
And for whatever reason, Keepa didn't track the orange Amazon price. And sometimes this is a glitch that does happen, and I have no reason how I can I don't know why it happens. It just does.
yeah. In situations like this, like right off the bat, it's not a purchase that I would make. However, if this had more history to it, and it doesn't because it looks like it was just released. I guess it was released
December of
last
last year.
December, so it's not even a very popular product in December. But often there are times where I will look at a deal, and it'll be like this, where it doesn't, it'll match, it'll be very borderline whether or not I want to purchase it. But if I look at the historical data, this is not a good example, but there are products that would jump up. So obviously it was at $50 during the Q4 season, then I would stock up and hold on to it. But again, it's up to you. It's up to you, kind of like your response, because it doesn't necessarily mean that what happened last December will happen this December. But there are certainly products that do happen
Yeah.
where
He's
that is the case.
he's talking about like speculative buys where uh, it jumps up for Q4 because this is a toy and because it is Lego. If Amazon does go out of stock, chances are people are still willing to pay for this.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is like I don't think Amazon ever went out of stock when you saw it for 48, and you can actually confirm this if you go to the data offers and see the inventory levels of that FBA guy, whoever it was. And so if you look at the second one, the FBA offer for $47.99, his price went down from about $50 to 48. But if you look at the stock history chart, his inventory never jumped. So he had 11 in stock and he never sold. Oh, interestingly enough, the next offer did sell. Um, I have a feeling this didn't actually sell, and it was because he did a removal order instead of it selling because he went from I think 12 to 7. He sold 5 in one day, and I find that hard to believe. But he could have sold. I don't really know.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
Does that answer your question, Ellie?
Who posted this one? 08. Okay, somebody. That's okay. Maybe it was .ca. The person who posted this privately to me, can you privately message me and let me know what you want to do with this one?
Nikki, location-based buy box rotations on .ca. I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know if it does happen on CA. So basically, what he's talking about is in the States, the buy box rotates between competitive offers, and the warehouse that your inventory sits at is a factor in who gets the buy box. So if your item is in Texas state and your buyer is in Seattle, it doesn't really make sense to ship the item from Texas to Seattle when there is the exact same item for a competitive amount in a California warehouse, let's say. So chances are the California seller would have a bigger chance of getting that buy box. And in Canada, there's only really two locations with warehouses. It's the Toronto area and the Vancouver area. And I don't know if location plays a role in who gets the buy box.
I happen to think that it does. Um, Maybe it's not like a major factor, but I I will sometimes be priced higher than whoever. I'll be priced higher than a couple other sellers, and I'll still get the buy box as a result, and make this the sale. I think Amazon has so much data that they know what products are selling where, and if they can get their items quicker to their customers, like they're in the business of making their customers happy. That's how they're building their platform.
Yep.
Um, so take that
It's
for what it's worth. Um, so this person wanted to sell on .ca is one of the products that came on tactical arbitrage. Oh, I can see the dip here. There's just not a ton of data with this. I can see that. So it has sold 79, and it could be just because Christmas is getting closer, and I'm sure like this would probably be potentially a good buy. Uh, it's about 25. Yeah, you can probably make some money off of this. So this is something I would set a Keepa alert for. If it goes under $60, then maybe it's something that you can reevaluate going forward in the future. But there's just not a ton of data on it right now. So even though it's sold a few
Is
times,
is there a price that you can get this for? Like are you finding this in a store because it came out on tactical arbitrage, or is this a flip? Because if it's a flip, then I don't think there's any question.
yeah,
This is
no,
just garbage.
she says it's $20 that
Oh,
she
it's
can get.
$20.
Yeah,
That's a different story.
at a specific place. So yeah, this would this I would go to that store and purchase a handful of them, and uh, keep an eye out on the, like, I know Tech Deck. My son used to play with this, and it's popular with kids. Uh, Good listing. Make sure that you can sell it. Obviously, they have a a pretty good listing, good pictures. And this is a very I know very very popular toys many years ago. Um, and you can see that that has sold at 70, $80. So if you can
Yep.
get it for $20, I would, like, this is a scenario where if you have less tolerance, like for me, I go buy all the stock. So, but I don't mind holding on to things a little bit,
it,
and
it depends on what you mean by all the stock. I don't think you would go like 50 deep or 100 deep on something like this.
yeah, and I mean, it really depends, because if it's only like 5 or 10 in each store, and you can kind of corner the market
Yeah,
by essentially buying up of the inventory, and you can kind of set the price to what you want. Um,
exactly. So for RA more than OA, you can typically guess how much of it is out there in stores because of how many are in each shelf. So let's say you find this at, I don't know, Walmart, right? And you see like one per store. Then you know that probably after 5 or 6 Walmarts and you see one per store, like two per store, and so on, you can typically tell that there's probably one or two in every store and all over the country. So there's maybe like 100 out there in all the Walmarts nationwide, and you can typically expect it to have a lesser probability of tanking, and this will make it an even better buy.
mhm.
But flipping $20 into $80 is an amazing margin. So I would actually further analyze this more by going into data offers. It's my favorite page. It's my favorite page, Keepa, guys,
This is cool.
and this is why. So the one FBA seller there is at $80, but it looking at the chart, the stock has been 10 this entire time, but it also said it sold 4, and
Yeah.
this doesn't really make sense.
No. It could be too that this listing is new. Like it's only been live for
Yeah.
52 days. So, the very first person who came in and got this, basically set the price at what it was. And for whatever reason, maybe another seller came in here or
Yep.
dropped the
The
price, doing some repricing or but because there's not a ton of data, I wouldn't go too deep on the item. If it's something where it's going to be a popular item, and because of experience, or if news comes out that it's going to be the next hot toy, whatever it is, then certainly. And again, up to your risk tolerance, what you're willing to
Yep.
willing to do. But I mean, for me, I would go buy 10 or 20 of them.
Wow. I would buy 3 to 5.
Yeah.
But we have different risk tolerances, as you can tell.
Uh, anything else, guys? There's only 3 people who left deals in here for us. If there's anything else, I think we covered, quite a bit here. I'm gonna obviously I have wait, did I record this? Let me check. Oh yeah, no, I've recorded. I've recorded. We're gonna add an hour and 45 minutes. If you guys don't have any other questions or any other deals that you
There's one more ASIN that just has been posted.
okay on .ca here. Post it now or forever hold your peace. But keep in mind, if you do post it, it is available to 20 some odd other people to potentially look at as well.
And the
And
replay.
if you guys are on the listing, if you guys are watching this, please do not tank prices. That's not cool. $19.99 for this.
Oh. As if you look at the sales rank, it has only sold once. But at the same time, it hasn't been in stock for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was last back in stock October 26, 2015 at a $7.99 price point. And today we're looking at a $19.99 price point.
And I'm guessing it's that FBA offer that sold because I don't see any more yellow dots. And he's probably not on the listing, I'm going to
If you
guess.
can get it for $6, this is something, I mean, I wouldn't go too deep on. They're darts plus some glasses. Make sure that you can sell Nerf. I know Nerf had a crackdown on .com at least.
Yeah. I would pick up 1 or 2 if I
Yeah,
were to pick up
yeah.
any. Or I would
Just like as like a test, a couple test
yeah,
buys, see how it goes, and then
because stuff like this, there's only been a very, very short amount of history, and FBA offers, I only see one red triangle, right? So there might not be too many, or there might not be any FBA offers. And if this was selling for $20 and you buy 1 or 2 and it keeps selling, this could become a good replan. It's just testing stuff like this, right?
yeah, especially on the .ca platform, there's just a lot less data, a lot less people buying, obviously, than .com. And I do want to mention too that sometimes you'll get on a Keepa listing and then there's no sales rank, or it for whatever reason they haven't tracked it. So it doesn't mean if you don't see a sales rank button here, it doesn't mean that like your Keepa extension is broken or anything. Just for whatever reason, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
And one more thing about this is you could very well sit on this for a year and never sell it. But if you buy 1 or 2, then maybe it was worth the risk to potentially find your next replan.
Yeah.
So it's a risk tolerance thing for your own business that you all have to decide.
Before I get into the next one, Ellie asks if you can mention which items you do not want to buy. Anything that's opposite of what makes a good buy. That's the quick answer. But Amazon is in stock and they don't want to share the buy box.
Yep.
Something that if if someone has a stock of 20 items and it only sells 2 times, it's only sold 3 times in the past 3 months, not something I would buy.
Yeah, and
Low
also
margins.
on this process of looking at the keeper chart, you should also be looking at stock stats or how many or something
Yeah.
to figure out who's on the listing, their prices, and how many they each have in stock. So if this Canucks deal guy had 200 in stock at 19.99, you probably don't want to get on that listing.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. For the next listing, is there a particular size you're looking at, Lena?
I'm gonna
Because
guess
I
there's
can
no
see
chart
that.
because of the shoe, or
Size.
there's no sales rank history. Oh, there is.
Yeah, there usually is.
Huh, really? When I dabbled in shoes a little, there was no sales rank history.
Oh, really?
Like Keepa didn't track it.
How much is this? So are you looking, Lena, is this a .com to .com flip that you're thinking about? Okay, it's at $60. Let's see how high it went to. I can tell you
Could you
right now,
tell us
it's
how much
probably not going
you
to
can
go
get it
much
for?
higher. How much can you get this for? Or is it just .com? Okay, because it's probably at 89 versus 23. The 23 is probably a different size somewhere. Not size 10. Where's the lowest? Um, so Amazon is, I can see different price points for the sizes. With with shoes just becomes a little bit more complicated because you're dealing with tons of variations. Um, you're gonna want to use something like tactical arbitrage, or if you're within tactical arbitrage, there's a variations feature that actually tells you how many items that you're or how many sales. You know what? I'm just gonna pull it up on my screen so that
You can also use the RevSeller variation listing and how many also has one.
yeah. So in 118 in stock. Actually, I'm not gonna pull tactical arbitrage. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. But there are tools out there that will tell you what the popular items are, or sorry, what the popular sizes and the popular colors
Yeah.
are. So like you could buy this at $36, size 10, whatever color it was, that was $36, but then sit on it for a long time because size 10 is not a very popular size for women. So for women's shoes, you want to stay like 6 to 9. um, 10, you're just gonna find that you're not gonna have as many sales with
Yeah,
it.
so for shoes and clothing in general, the ranks and the pricings are for the entire listing. So for shoes specifically, you're talking about all the sizes are in one graph. So it in one rank. So it doesn't really make sense. So if you see a spike, that means that one of the sizes in black have sold, and you don't know what size that is.
Yeah,
So the Keepa graph is not exactly the best way to look at shoe buys. Um, the website, the tools that we're talking about, we have a tactical arbitrage, which is a OA tool, and inside that there's a variation viewer. It is a paid
I
tool.
have it. I have it right here. Actually, I'm gonna
Okay.
add it here. You guys can see tactical arbitrage on my
Yes,
screen.
I see it.
Okay. It's under here under analysis, and then you go to variations. Um, there's obviously this is a very very popular shoe, so it's there's 138 pages of reviews that it has to filter through, and it's going to pull all the sizes and all the colors that's been found, and then give you you'll see in a second. It's going to populate the data so you can see what percentage of those colors and sizes that have sold.
Yeah,
Um,
and by looking at the reviews, you can kind of guess. It's a data point that will tell you which sizes
yeah.
are selling. Yeah.
Oops. Okay. What were we looking at here? Were you looking size 10 you mentioned for black? The color black, Nina?
Yeah, I think so because she gave
Okay.
you an ASIN.
Yeah, at 59.99. Uh so black is the overwhelming. Okay, here we go. Here's size 10 black. So 3.3% of the time it sells. Amazon buy box at $59 currently.
Basically, the 3.3% means it's looking at the number of reviews, so it added up all the reviews, and 3.3% of all the reviews is for size black. Or sorry, the black variation in size 10.
Yeah, yeah. So it's actually not bad actually. So we
So
just
if
need to do a little bit more research. Here are some other people selling it at different price points here. Uh, we'll go with free shippings. So 59.99, 61.75, 64.99, 69.99. And then let's look at amazing Prime deals. Doesn't look like these guys have too much stock. Uh, this is probably not something that I would buy. I know just because like I used to do a lot of shoes, and I know that Skechers don't really like. This is probably the most that you can list it that you can get a buy off 59. If you can buy for 23 and flip it for 59, then there's still a little bit of margin there. But I just know like with Skechers shoes, they don't like you're not going to sell a pair of Skechers shoes for 99 bucks. At least not in this this type. Uh, So. So yeah, I think we are. Oh, sorry, Nicole had a question up here. Sorry, Nicole. How often do you find or bring a new product to the market that's currently not on the platform? Where you're creating the listing, I always seem to find products that are not on the platform. How would you evaluate? You know what? That's probably a like I could probably do like a whole webinar on that alone. That has a lot to do with understanding what people are searching for, whether or not like there's a market for that elsewhere. Um, and a lot of that is like with Dixon, man, you type really fast.
oh, sorry, my keyboard's loud.
So yeah, like I have brought a lot of items to market. Like even like creating things like bundles don't exist. So you can if you can find that people are because you know what, it happens every single day that people will search for an item that doesn't exist on Amazon's platform, and there's certainly opportunity for that. But you have to look at other ways to try to find if people are actually, if there's a market for it, if people want it for it, if there's a demand for it. One way to do that is just to do some keyword research. Um, and those, that's a whole other set of tools, and I think probably a whole nother conversation that we can probably have another day. Um,
Yeah, basically, you don't want to randomly guess if someone will buy the item and set it in and pay all those fees
mhm,
and put in all that effort, right? So you want to
yeah.
somehow validate that that item will sell.
Yeah. And if it's like a bundle that you're gonna set and test, and if you think that there is a market for it for whatever reason, if you're doing your research and you find that there is a potential market for it, then send in a bundle of three, or send in like 3 units of it. Don't go and buy 100 units of it and send it in without first testing it, because then you may sit there and never sell an item. So I have new bundles that I have brought to market that have now become replens of mine. And even with my high risk tolerance, I'm still, that's just not a good. It's not good business practice. So test with 1 to 3 products first, or 3 items first. Um, and if it sells, then you replenish. So I hope that answers your question. Ellie says he can't see the new data tab on Keepa already installed. Uh, I know it's a beta feature right now. Are you signed? Like, any ideas, Dixon?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Um, I told her to search in Google and Facebook groups because
Okay.
I know it was a beta rollout and they like rolled it out in different phases for different people, but otherwise I'm not too sure.
Okay, guys. It's a great time. Always enjoy these times with you guys. That concludes our webinar. I think if you guys don't have any other questions, I hope you guys have learned a ton. And the best way that you guys are gonna, you're gonna get better at this is to keep looking at charts. This is recorded, so I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel. I'll post the link again in the morning. So if you need to go back, we covered quite a bit of things. We went through Keep It very, very extensively. What our thought process is for just different situations. So hopefully that's been useful to you guys. Um, and thank you for sticking around. We still got 20 participants. Thank you for sticking around, and till next time.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and feel free to message either one of us if you want some help looking at something.
Yeah,
And as Dang mentioned at the beginning, like Beaver is also uh, let us know that he is also open.
yeah,
But
yeah. And the one thing that I probably wouldn't do is post it in our group, because there's 700 members, but we probably have like less than 100 that contribute. So there's a lot of lurkers who might try to
yeah,
go after your bolo. And if you decide to send myself or Dixon or Beaver, like we're not gonna go after your we won't go after your bolos unless it's really good and there's awesome margin. Then I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We won't do that to you guys. So okay, guys.
yeah.
Um, check the group tomorrow, and I will post the replay for you guys. Um, and we will see you guys next time.
All right, have a good night,
Good night,
everyone.
guys.